Ну пойдем. Здравствуйте. Так, верхний замок. Так, походу это он. Да, это он и есть.
My lord, I'm afraid you were right when you said these hostilities wouldn't end at Pribyslavitz.
That comes as no surprise.
What has happened?
The men reported 2 more attacks today.
Ah, Henry. I'm glad you're here. It seems like we'll have another task for you. Come and join us.
My lord.
Greetings, lad.
Bandits raided a few remote hamlets, but that's the least of our worries. They also attacked Merhoyed. That's a much more serious matter.
Merhoyed. Matthias is working there.
They attacked right after the battle in Pribyslavitz. Bastards are probably trying to prove they're still strong. But there's a silver lining. The villagers held them off. And they even took one captive. He's wounded. We can still interrogate him.
Your Graces, I hope I'm not intruding.
On the contrary, Master Tobias. Unlike Bernard, you are the bearer of good tidings. Or so I gather from the coin you carry. Tell me, how many groschen did we find in Pribyslavitz?
My lord, I'm sorry, but my news is no better than Captain Bernard's. These coins are very good. That is to say, well-made facsimiles, as we call them.
What? I don't give a fuck what you call them. I want to know what they're facking worth.
That's just it, sir. They're worth nothing.
You saying what I think you're saying, Master Tobias? This here
Is just a pile of copper.
Kurva! Fuck!
Plated with silver, so it's still of some worth.
Kurva! Fuck!
Is it a lot of work to make such counterfeits, Master Tobias?
I should say so, sir. Highly demanding work. Especially to make such plausible forgeries. They would need a well-hidden foundry, several craftsmen, and a source of material.
But they could just be brought in from somewhere else, could they not?
Well, they could, but then again the silver mines are nearby and these groschen seem freshly minted, so...
So we are facing a foe who has almost limitless sources of coin. That's all we need.
Doppel devil.
Well, gentlemen, it's clear what we have to do. Interrogate that captive bandit, find out their numbers, and promptly cut off their supply of money. Otherwise, they'll soon have another encampment.
If they haven't already.
I doubt it, sir. Merhoyed wouldn't have been able to hold them off if they did.
Well, lad, I said we'd have work for you, but it never crossed my mind there would be this much. You've already proved your worth as an investigator, so I'm putting my faith in you again. Go to Merhoyed and question that captive. Find out where those brigands are hiding, how many there are, and what they're planning. And while you're at it, see if you can find some clues as to where this counterfeit coin is coming from.
Very well, sir.
Good luck. We're counting on you. All of us. Come report to me as soon as you know anything. I'll be at the lookout point near Talmberg.
Давай допросим заложников. Узнаем, откуда берутся фальшивые монеты. Сейчас узнаем. Так. Мне нужно все же снять. Так. Где тот шлем? Это я один тут и снимаю. Так, это шлем на лошадь. Так получше. Оу. Так, давай взглянем карту. Мурхаеда. Да, в принципе, недалеко. Не скачу так. Так, почти приехали. Мельницу сейчас мы проедем. О, впереди деревня мрахоедов. Что, сожгли пол деревни? Ох, блин, там за горизонтом дым. Пожар. Да и здесь не лучше. Лошадей сожгли. Ну-ка, давай посмотрим на пожар. Шесть. Так. Узнай, что случилось с Матеем. Хоть одного жителя деревни найти. Стой, житель.
Are you Melikar?
Aye, that's me.
I need to speak with the prisoner.
And why is that? Who might you be?
Henry, envoy of Saradzik Kobala. I'm here to investigate the attack.
I'm sorry. I have other things on my mind right now. In case you hadn't noticed, we have pestilence raging here. And Saradzik won't help us with that. Any more than he helped us when we were attacked.
No one could have known what would happen.
If Saradzik hadn't pissed off into the woods and stayed in the camp, they would never have dared attack us.
If Saradzik hadn't gone into the woods, he'd have left so many to attack here that you'd never have fought them off.
Makes no odds now. We've a different problem to deal with.
If there's anything I can do, just tell me.
There's a stable hand living with us here, Matthias.
Yes, I know him.
And he knows some girl who helps out in the monastery infirmary. Johanka, I think her name is. She might know someone to turn to, if she's actually there.
Very well. I'll go to the monastery. It's probably our best hope.
Thank you. At least for taking the trouble. But then, even if you cared nothing for us, the prisoner's got the pestilence too. He'll die without help.
If I have to go to the monastery, I need to know as much as possible about the disease. I'll definitely need to know its symptoms. They're bound to ask me that.
It's hard to say. My wife is feverish. Others have the chills. I heard some are throwing up. Others still are breaking out in sores. But why don't you see for yourself? People talk a lot and I don't know what to believe anymore.
Very well. I'll make the rounds.
I've daubed lime on the afflicted houses. But don't stay too long in those homes.
That I can promise you.
Поговори с Яханкой. Так, монастырь. Да чума. Все чумой заразились. кого я могу узнать? Ну, посмотрим. Здесь, кстати, недалеко, где у нее находится эта церковь. Так, вот она, да? Монастырь. Давай сначала расспросим всех. Бокалейщик. Может, ты мне что-нибудь расскажешь? Ты там? Вообще в деревне никого нет. Все заболели. Страшная болезнь. Карантинная зона. Дай-ка я с тобой поговорю.
Brother, dearest brother, is that you?
Yes, it's me, your, brother.
Everyone is nearly here. We need to get the scallops for the fair.
Tell me, brother, how are you feeling?
Wait, you're not my brother. You're one of those brutes. Brother, lock the door. They're back again. Please, God, no.
Brother, don't you recognize me? It's me. I'm your brother. I was gone for a long time. I've come back home for Advent, remember?
Yes, yes, I remember. Give me a drink of water, brother. Ah, I'm thirsty. Terribly thirsty. I feel like I'm burning in hell. I can drink a pitcher of water and right away I'm parched again.
Все закрыто. Так, у меня что-то есть. Давай посмотрим. Вот, у меня есть отвар. От похмелья. На, держи. Не? Не хочешь? Как хочешь. Это все тот же самый тип. Мы уже разговаривали. Тоже знак карантина. Одни больные.
Jesus, lad, what are you doing here? Can't you see the plague cross on the door?
I'm here because of it. The monastery sent me to help.
God bless you, boy. It's about time.
I need to know exactly what you're suffering from.
Oh, I see. Well, I have a dreadful fever. My wife too. I recall almost nothing of yesterday. I was raving for most of it.
Is there anything else? Apart from the fever?
Well, forgive me for saying so. The shit just pours out of me. I can't keep anything in. I'm completely worn out. My wife's the same.
You have my thanks. I'll try to bring help.
Wait a minute, will you? I have one favor to ask.
So tell me.
I need to write my will. Can you write?
I might manage that.
Excellent. So get writing.
Yes.
I, Vincent, son of Vincent, grandson of Vincent of Mehoyed, do bequeath my estate and all my worldly goods to my wife Wilma. If my wife were to pass away with me, I bequeath all to my cousin Dobesh, at this time the cobbler in Yanovitz. In no event shall my prodigal son Elia, the layabout and good-for-nothing, inherit a single groschen, all customs and traditions aside.
Should I write that too?
Yes, and then write, the executor of my last will is to be my good friend, Father Fabian, presently the parish priest at the Church of St. Martin in Sasso.
Anything else?
This will was written down by. What is your name?
Henry. Presently in fealty to Sir Radzig Kobyla.
Well, I never. That will add some weight. Here, take my ring, so Fabian will know it to be truly from me. You can never be sure nowadays.
Where can I find Father Fabian?
Well, where do you think? In St. Martin's Church, of course.
All right, I'll head off then.
Yes. Go now. Go before you catch the disease. Then where will we be?
Так. Что еще я могу здесь сделать? Ага, все узнал. Так, где мне узнать? Кого узнать? Непонятно. Ну там вот кто-то работает. Вроде с ним все в порядке.
God be with you.
What's happened here?
Things are bad. Very bad. First we get attacked by them brigands, barely come out of that alive. And now the plague.
Plague, you say?
Indeed so. Something's up with the village. Even the livestock are dying. It's a gruesome sight.
I heard the bandits didn't get very far here, though.
Luckily, young Straw saw them still over by the cross and woke the whole village. We even captured one. He's tied up now at Melikar's place. But then the disease came.
Who attacked you?
I don't know. Some bandits. Ever since Scarlet's was raised, they've been marauding the whole province.
Did you put up a fight?
We most certainly did. Once Melikar heard young Straw shouting to the hills, he handed everyone a pitchfork or a flail, and we ambushed the bastards.
Good on you. How did it turn out?
We gave them what for until they turned tail and ran. But they cut up young Straw something awful. He didn't live to see morning.
Who are Melikar and Straw?
That's right, you're not from around here, are you? Melikar's the one looking after things round here now. Before that, it was down to Smill from the Neuhof stud. But they killed him that time they raided the place. And young Straw is the son of Andrew, a local woodcutter. Or was, I should say. The bandits saw to that. His old man isn't taking it well.
Where will I find Melikar?
If you stand at the main gate of the stables and look across the road, Melikar's is the house on the left.
I'd like to talk to Straw.
I see. Well, if you stand at the main gate of the stables and look across the road, you'll see Straw's house on the right.
Tell me more about this plague. It sounds terrible.
Worse than you can imagine. The whole stud, livestock, sheep, chickens, all dead or dying. No doubt the people will be next. Melikar's old woman's taken to her bed and it doesn't look good. Straw's wife and brother, more and more.
I'm sorry to hear it. I'm looking for Matthias. He works as a stable hand at the stud farm.
Matthias. The brigands got him, poor lad.
Понятно.
He's lying wounded at the stud.
Thanks. That'll be all for now.
Пленник. Давай сначала с Матеем поговорим.
Hal? You're a sight for sore eyes. What are you doing here?
It's good to see you too, Matthias. Sir Radzig sent me here to investigate the raid.
Sir Radzig? Looks like you've come up in the world, mate. You're here as his envoy?
He took me into his garrison.
Hal, the blacksmith's boy, in the service of his lordship. Who'd have ever thought it? My luck hasn't been so good.
You survived. That's something to thank God for.
True enough. If I were in your shoes, I'd get the hell out of here. There's some disease spreading.
Disease?
Folk are saying it's the plague. Whatever it is, it's bad. It started the day after the raid. First the horses got sick, then other animals, and now people are falling ill too.
Damn! About this sickness. When did this plague start?
The day after the raid. The horses were lying down in the stable, so we knew something was up. By afternoon, they were all dead. Then other animals started getting sick, one after the other, and then people.
Tell me about the raid.
What do you want to know?
I hear one of the raiders was taken captive. I'd like to question him.
Aye, old Melikar let him have it over the head with a flail, and now he's locked up in the barn. But be careful.
Why's that?
That fucker killed young Straw, and his old man's sharpening his sickle for him. Melikar still hasn't decided what to do with him.
I understand old Straw wants revenge, but first I have to question that bandit. What happens after is no skin off my nose.
Good luck, then.
Так. Что? Ты же мне можешь рассказать?
Can I ask you a bit about Merho yet?
I haven't been here long enough to learn much, but ask away.
Can you tell me something about old Straw?
He's a woodcutter, tough as they come, and a hothead. He's been out of his mind since his boy died.
It's normal to grieve, eh?
Depends how you look at it. Folk are afraid he'll snap or drink himself to death. What's worse, his wife caught the sickness, and he's not taking care of her.
Where can I find this Straw?
When you take the main gate out of the stables, you'll see 2 cottages outside. Straw lives in the right-hand one.
What's Melikar like?
The locals look up to him. Smill used to be in charge here, but he was killed in Neuhof.
I know.
Sir Hanush hasn't had time to appoint a new vassal, and folk need someone to speak for them, so they picked Melikar.
Thank God you had someone here who could take the reins.
Aye.
Where does Melikar live?
When you take the main gate out of the stables, you'll see 2 cottages outside. Melikar lives in the left-hand one.
Понятно. Так. А и Б появились. Где А? Это, наверное, там же, да? Не, дальше. Ага, то есть извещение. Это в курсе. Так. Мгм. М. Да мог бы сам позвонить.
Ну, я думаю, трубку там.
Да нет,
Все, поехал инженер наладил.
молодец. Осталось, чтобы он у меня тоже запустился.
Да он восстановил там какую-то планету, которая...
Короче, одна деревня заразилась чумой. Да, и здесь зона карантина. На каждой двери, когда заходишь в любой барак, нарисован белый крест. Так, если дверь открыта, я тут был.
Где ты коней покупал?
Сейчас посмотрим. Кстати. Да, я тут коней покупал. Угу, ты прав.
Good day to you. What do you need?
What's happened here?
Things are bad. Very bad. First we get attacked by them brigands. Barely come out of that alive, and now the plague.
Plague, you say?
Indeed so. Something's up with the village. Even the livestock are dying. It's a gruesome sight.
I heard the bandits didn't get very far here, though.
Luckily, young Straw saw them still over by the cross and woke the whole village. We even captured one. He's tied up now at Melika's place. But then, the disease came.
Thanks. That'll be all for now.
Он сейчас у Мелихара. Имена, конечно, блин. С Йоханкой, Мелихар. Так. Где он может быть? Тут не так уж много этих бараков. Он один из них. Этот заложник. Разбойник. Походу я его нашел.
You're not allowed inside. If you want to go in, talk to Melikar.
Мне нужен Мелихар. Я туда не зайду.
Good
Не
health
войду
to
я
you.
туда, пока Мелихара не найду.
I need to talk to that captive.
Sorry, no one's allowed inside. Melikar's orders.
But I'm Sir Radzig Cobbler's envoy, and I urgently need to question the captive.
I don't care if you're the Pope's envoy. I can't let you in. If you want to talk to the captive, you have to get permission from Melikar.
Так, Мелихар сейчас находится в избе. Или это и есть Мелихар? Подожди-ка. Кто это у нас?
Be a bit more careful.
Зона карантина. Надеюсь, не ты, Мелихар? О, стенка. Ай, блядь. Оставлю двери открытыми. Ты меня так и не
сам-то не
отпустишь.
заболеешь.
Да спокойно, если я тут поем что-нибудь или умоюсь. Вроде я все работаю в этих перчатках латных. Так что я в основном... Кстати, для полной такой вот, знаешь, вот,
Ты с ними же говоришь.
да, говорю, и поэтому у меня кое-что возникла какая идея. Чтобы наверняка не заболеть.
What? Have you come for my wife? You're out of luck. I'm old Straw, don't you know? Straw! You've taken my son. But you shan't take my wife. You bastard.
I've come to help your wife.
To help her over to the other side. Isn't that God's own truth?
I'm sorry that they killed your son.
Я
I
пришел,
truly
чтобы
am sorry.
помочь.
But if you don't want that disease to take your
С такой
wife,
мордой.
you'll let me see her right away. I can help her.
I don't want her taken, no.
There. You see?
What? Are you a quack?
Something like that.
Then go to it. Go!
Солома.
Leave me be.
А мне нужен.
Fever. Just like Melichar's wife. Fever. Just like Melichar's wife.
Да у всех одна и та же болезнь. Давай-ка всем спросим, что она знает.
What happened here?
Какое-то
Horror
зелье.
of horrors, Master. We were attacked by some bandits and then the plague broke out.
Jesus Christ.
Чума.
That's right. The Almighty has sent this punishment on us.
These bandits, who were they?
Some thieving rabble. What do I know? Maybe those damned humans. But they spoke Czech. Ask the captive at the Malikars.
How did you manage to fight them off?
Well, we were lucky. Young Straw saw the gang a little way out of the village and ran to warn old Melikar. If it wasn't for that, none of us would be here.
It looks like you fended them off, though. I can't see any burned houses.
They had no time for that. But they've left us with fresh graves. Young Straw himself got cut up something terrible, and a few others. We've a number of wounded. And now the plague to crown it all. Christ preserve us.
Melichar, Straw. Those names are new to me.
They're locals. Melikar's been in charge here since old vassal Smil from Neuhof passed away. May God grant him eternal peace. And Straw, that's the local woodsman. Poor fellow. The bandits killed his
похоже
son.
на Ланори,
His
да?
wife has the disease.
Да, да, да.
Where will I find Melichar?
If you stand at the main gate of the stables and look across the road, Melikar's is the house on the left.
Солому я нашел.
And the disease? Tell me something about it.
I don't want to tempt fate by talking about it. Makes me shudder to think of it. There's not much to tell anyway. It hit us just after that rabble left. First the horses died, then livestock, and now it's people. Like Melikar's wife. Poor thing.
I'd like to talk to Straw.
I see. Well, if you stand at the main gate of the stables and look across the road, you'll see Straw's house on the right.
Thank you. That's all.
То есть мелихар налево, солома направо. Так, подожди. Правый дом это походу солома. Нет, я ошибся.
Anthony, my beloved Anthony.
Прикинь, я могу...
Правый солома, левый сено. Понял?
Подожди.
Merciful God.
Он умер, я могу поднять его тело. А что будет, если я подниму его тело в кровать? Лучше его не трогать, он зараженный. Зона карантина.
Can't you see we have the plague cross on the door?
My name is Henry. I'm going to the monastery to get help.
It's long past time.
Нахил
The
средневековой
Lord's already
болезни.
taken my poor Anthony. And what do you want from me?
I need to know how the illness afflicted your husband.
Yes, I'll tell you everything. But first help me bury my husband. I'm too weak. And Melichar said the dead should be buried at once.
Of course I'll help you.
Thank you. We have to bury him at the back of the house. There's a lovely linden tree there.
I understand. I'll dig the grave there.
Thank you. When you're ready, come back. I'll say goodbye for now.
Да. Ага, вижу. Сейчас посмотрим. Вот здесь неплохое место. Я так думаю. Лопата. Крапива. А вряд ли, да? Давай тогда его во дворе похороним. Вот здесь вот. Хорошее место. Отнеси тело в могилу. Бросить тело, бросить тело. Ну как-то можно просто положить. Вот так вот. Понь. Нормально. Как литой. Под него могилу копал, понимаешь? Все, и закапывать не надо. Все. Закопал.
Will you please tell me about his illness?
Certainly. My husband had the fever all over.
Anything else?
He had great pains in his belly. He said it felt like it'd been stuffed with rocks. He was writhing all night through. He must have hurt terribly.
Thank you.
Так, хоть что-то я узнал. И то радует. Дальше. Допроси пленника. Но я его так и не допрошу спокойно. Мне нужно найти... Так, а где мне его находить? Махеева. Так, я вот выхожу на главную дорогу. Здесь живет, походу, Солома. Это Солома, да? Так, а Махеев, значит, налево. Так, это дом Махеева, походу.
Back trouble.
Крестьянка, где Махеев? А это, походу, Махеев и есть.
No, let me sleep.
Что же мне делать с Махеевым?
You're not allowed inside. If you want to go in, talk to Melikar.
Махеев сказал, Малихаров какой-то.
I need to talk to that captive.
You again. I told you, no one gets inside.
Я могу оглушить и отмычками взломать замок. Так будет неправильно, но зато это будет эффективно. Солома. Уже все дома облазил. А может и не все. Так, это, в этом я уже был. Юган. Не нужен. Вот здесь я еще не был. Не был. Так, здесь я похоронил. Бакалейщик. Что мне даст этот бакалейщик? Зона карантина. Тебе нужно воды дать, я помню. Давай ему, кстати, взломаем замок. Может, что-то мне даст. Все равно болен. Так что я думаю, все будет хорошо. Хотя я выше посмотрю. Прежде чем взломать замок, осмотрюсь. Вот еще больные люди. Так, торговка. Есть вино. Медовуха. Вам уже все равно? На, держи медовуху. Не хочет. Я ему воды принесу. Ну что, придется действовать по ходу радикальным методом.
Давай.
Сейчас я еще осмотрюсь. Чуть-чуть. По одним тем же местам бегаю. Ладно, начинаем.
You're not allowed inside. If you want to go in, talk to Melikar. Are you serious?
Дозорный.
Hey, you! Halt! What's the matter? Come on! Ah! Ah! Fucker!
Кого тупить?
Кого пришлось?
Топор достал.
Бля, там же это тело.
It looks like he's caught that sickness. What am I gonna do? If he dies, I'll be right back where I started. Jesus, he's sick too. I'll have to try and keep him alive. Jesus, he's sick too. I'll have to try and keep him alive.
Мне придется все равно скакать в монастырь. Подожди. Как я ему помогу? Мне нужно тело переложить. Я не знаю куда. Есть идея, но она херовая. Пойдем. Быстрее, быстрее, быстрее. Давай, давай, шевелись. Фух, все, поскакали в монастырь. охренеть этот квест, вот скажи. В море. Не показалось? Да, показалось. Его задолбали. Сейчас. Да. Ты тут? Ясно. Так, вижу впереди монастырь. До меточки. Так будет безопаснее. Ладно, все, приехали. Мне нравится мне это место. Слушай, а ты его не откроешь. Понятно. Не откроет. Эта высота, наверное, для моих доспехов это просто боль. Не могу пройти. Придется прыгать. Давай-ка как-нибудь смягчим посадку. Опа. Вот так вот. Нормально. Йоханка, я к тебе пришел.
Johanka?
Henry?
I'm glad to see you.
Me too. I heard that you're doing well.
Not right now. Matthias sent me.
Matthias? My God.
Они что, во всех деревнях, что ли, заболели?
Нет, походу отсюда просто с той деревни притащили в эту. И началось заражение. И в монастыре, походу, тоже.
I don't know if you've heard about it, but Merhoyed was attacked.
Oh God. How is Matthias?
Wounded in the
Чума
arm.
то быстро
He's being
распространяется.
brave about it, but his
Сколько
injury
людей
looks
от него
bad.
погибло.
I need to see him.
Before you go, there's something else.
What?
Some kind of disease has taken hold in Merhoyed. Their livestock has died off, and now the people are coming down with it too. I thought maybe someone here might know what to do.
Merciful heavens. How awful. It's a good thing you've come here. If there's any hope, this is the place to find it. You need Brother Nicodemus, the monastery physician. He may know how to deal with it.
Very well, I'll try to find him.
Come back when you know more.
Thank you, Johanka. What's happening here? Oh my God. Philip and... they're all...
Yes? Where do you think the wounded ended up?
Actually, I had no idea.
Well, now you know. Me and Nicodemus have been trying to keep things under control since Skalitz was raised. Just the two of us.
Can I help at all?
Certainly. We can always use an extra pair of hands here. And it's been like that since the beginning.
I was in a bad way myself back then. They took me to Ratai unconscious, and I needed a healer. How is everyone holding up? What can I do?
Holding up? People here are dying. Usually needlessly, and I can't do anything about it. We don't have enough food or space or anyone who's willing to help us.
Doesn't the monastery care for them?
They give us some food for them and a place to sleep, but I wouldn't say they help exactly. More like they just tolerate us.
Do you have enough food?
Enough to survive, maybe. But convalescents need feeding up.
Maybe if I brought some meat, some game, that would strengthen them up.
That would be a great help.
Anything else you need?
Look around.
Well, it is a little crowded.
crowded. I've had to leave some of the sick lying in the open air, even at night. And have you seen what they're lying on?
I'll try to negotiate better conditions with the monastery.
I tried that, out loud. They just nod their heads, but don't move a muscle.
Понятно.
Very well. And how are you doing? You're the only woman here, alone in the monastery.
Some of the monks speak to me, but other people act like I don't exist. Too bad the custodian isn't one of those.
Is the custodian causing you problems?
All the time. Apparently he has a wife somewhere, but that doesn't stop him. He's constantly strutting around in front of me.
And, what else?
What do you mean, what else? He's invited me to his home.
I could do something about it, if you liked.
No, I can deal with him. The last thing I need is you going around threatening people. It won't help me, and it definitely won't help the refugees.
Why is there a guard outside?
He's here because of me.
Because of you?
Yes. There was one time I just had enough of it all, of the way they treat us, and I almost slapped one of... But that doesn't matter.
What can you tell me about the custodian?
He's supposed to be in charge of all the guards and the security of the monastery. But really, he has a say in pretty much everything, including supplies. And that's why he probably thinks he can do whatever he wants.
Alright, that's all I need to know.
Look, Henry, I know I can speak harshly, but I'm at the end of my tether. Last week Bohuslav died. Maybe you knew him. And nobody even blinked an eye. We desperately need help.
I'll do whatever's in my power. Tell me more about the situation here. Doesn't anyone help you with nursing these people? You've got scholars all around you.
Scholars, maybe, but they leave the healing up to God. Nicodemus is trying, but everything he knows is from his books.
Can I have a look at them myself? I know a little about healing.
Do you now? And what would you do if you burnt yourself at the forge?
First, you have to cool it down with water. Marigold ointment helps, and it's better if you don't bind it and let it breathe.
You do know what you're talking about. Looks like blacksmiths know about more than just pulling teeth.
Pulling teeth? Nothing to it. As long as you don't squeeze the pincers too hard and crush them.
Well, go and see if anyone needs anything. Just don't go pulling anyone's teeth.
Alright, that's all I need to know.
Давай смотрим.
These wounds have been well taken care of. I'm not needed here. He'll be able to get out of this on his own.
Christ above! I can't get a wink of sleep.
What are you making such a fuss about?
A fuss? Because of my leg, I have to stay here for at least another week. Hurts like fuck. And with everyone else moaning and groaning all night, I can't get any sleep.
Maybe I can make you something to help you sleep.
Oh, then for God's sake, do it quickly.
По башке ему
He'll
дать,
be able to get out of this on his own.
чтобы он уснул.
Yeah, shit. What's going on?
You're not from Scarlet?
No, but please help me. I can't stay here.
What happened to you?
I was working on the building when the scaffolding up by the roof collapsed underneath me.
Well, And you're very lucky you survived at all.
Yes, that's what everyone tells me. But it's no use being alive if all I can do is lie here like a wet sack of barley.
Well, you're pretty battered, but I don't see anything that a few weeks' rest can't fix.
Weeks? My God, I have to get back to work sooner than that.
What's the problem? Why can't you stay until you heal?
I have a family. I'm poor. It's only thanks to the building work that we can survive. And the master told me, if I don't come back in a few days, then I shouldn't come back at all. And where can me and my wife go then? Who'll take us in? We'll end up living in the woods, where any bandit or ruffian can set on us.
Is there anything I can do to help? It looks like they took care of your wounds.
When I was little, my father got trampled on by a horse, and an old hag from the village gave him some kind of purple herbs for it. And he got better very quickly.
And do you remember what the herbs were?
I don't. But there's supposed to be the whole cursed knowledge of the world in this place. Something has to be written about it. A herbarium. Anything.
I'll try to find something.
Thank you. Thank you.
Everything here is fine?
Huh? Shit. What's going on?
You look alright?
Mostly, but my leg still hurts.
Did the humans wound you?
That's what I tell the ladies. Truth is, I did myself a mischief while I was running away.
And do they rebandage it for you?
Occasionally. They told me they don't have enough bandages.
Well, that's no use. Those bandages need changing.
What are you doing?
I'll get some.
Да-да-да. У меня же есть же повязки. И нехилое количество. И не могу их дать ему. Ну и бред.
These wounds have been well taken care of. Everything here is fine. These wounds have been well taken care of. He's not reacting. But all I can see that's wrong with him is his leg. I have to ask Johanka. Philip, from Skalitz. I don't see any wounds, but he's shaking terribly. Tell me more about the situation here. All right, that's all I need to know. What's wrong with that man by the altar? He doesn't look wounded, but he's really pale and doesn't react at all.
He had a broken leg. A bad one. The bone had come right through the skin. We tried to straighten it, but I don't know if we did it right. I'm not holding out much hope for him. I've seen folk in that state before, and it didn't end well.
My God, there has to be something we can do.
And what do you suggest? The monks won't help, and I don't know anyone else who can.
Well, I can try. I'll straighten his leg.
You?
Unfortunately, I've had occasion to try this sort of thing before. You have to place the bones as precisely as you can next to each other. It's hard, but you have to ignore any screams of pain. That's the only way to help him.
С такой маской сейчас будет делать хирургию.
Fine. Try it then.
One of the sick men, Semek, is complaining about pain and the fact he can't work. He says he...
Semek? Is he one of our people?
No, he's a construction worker. He's bruised and confined to...
Henry, for God's sake, our neighbors are dying here. You're friends. There isn't time to waste on some construction worker's bruises. Oh, honestly, what were you thinking?
Listen, all I need to find out is the name of a herb.
Then go and look it up in a book. You've got your own herbarium, haven't you?
What happened to Philip?
Poor man. There was nothing wrong with him, and now he's getting worse every day.
But do you know why?
Maybe. He didn't run away from Skalitz, you see. He hid for days, among the corpses. If he got poisoned...
But what can we do?
Us? Nothing. Only Father Simon might have been able to save him. He knew a lot about poisons.
And where is he?
You know he left Skalitz years ago.
And does anyone know where he ended up?
If you believe the stories about a wild man in the woods, then Rovnar is the place to go.
Сейчас буду кость прям править.
Tell me more
Вроде
about the
всё,
situation
да?
here.
Это да, все.
All right, that's all I need to know.
У кого там была больная нога? Сейчас будет жесть. Все
Are you
хорошо.
holding him firmly?
Все нормально.
Done.
God save Henry.
А ты кто такой?
What's that?
You're the one who's in charge of the wounded.
Yes, I'm the infirmarius here. Time was I only had a few elderly monks who couldn't walk to take care of. Now I have this mess to deal with.
Monks so old they can't hold themselves up with their own legs.
Oh, if that were the only bodily function they could control. But I shouldn't talk like that. It's a blessing to live to such an age.
How are the wounded from Skalitz?
Some of them are well taken care of. But others are dying here needlessly. It's a good thing we have Johanka here. I'd never be able to manage on my own.
So you don't normally treat the wounded then?
Well, there were accidents, of course. A broken leg, someone who'd been kicked by a cow or bitten by a goat. But this, I've never dealt with the carnage of battle before.
If only it had been a battle. This was cold-blooded slaughter.
You were there? God be merciful to you and the dead and the wounded.
How can I help you?
Have you talked to Johanka?
I did.
Well, if you know something about it, then go and take a look. However, you don't look like you've studied the Hippocratic arts.
That's true. I'm the son of a blacksmith. But I have been around the wounded before. What do I do if I'm not sure of the treatment?
Come and speak to me. We'll see what we can do.
What do you think about the custodian?
Baron von Berg? Well, he does his job well. He keeps us safe here. And the last time I saw him was when I was rubbing ointment on his rash.
I heard he's been here a lot lately.
Well, that's true. He comes to visit Johanka. But he's never here long, and he always leaves unsatisfied.
Thank you. Why are they so badly provided for? People are crammed in next to each other, and some have to sleep outside. That can't be good for them. It gets freezing here at night.
I can't afford anything more for them.
How is that possible? You're the infirmarius. You decide how all the money gets spent.
But I have no say in how much money I'm given. And because the abbot's away, it's still the same amount I had when I was taking care of a few old men.
And the local custodian? His crew has enough provisions.
I tried him, but it seems he had some disagreement with Johanka, and now he won't give us anything.
I'll try to talk to him. I can't believe your conscience lets you leave the Skalitz locals in such a state.
I know. I'm shamed. But my brothers believe it's all in God's hands now.
Can't you do anything? Won't the others help?
Unfortunately not. The brothers in the cloister aren't much interested in the external world, and the custodian has enough on his plate with the chaos in the region. Besides, his main concern is the smooth running of the monastery.
Even so, conditions here seem to me quite unchristian.
You're not the only one.
Do you know anything about herbs?
I'm not an expert, but I know a little something. Is it urgent?
Well, one of the workers who was injured during construction would like to get back to work. He mentioned some purple flowers that would...
Herbs.
Oh, purple herbs that should help.
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but you can have a look in the herbarium here. There won't be too many purple herbs for bruises and sprains.
I'd like to learn something from you.
And what can you do?
A bit of everything.
Can you now? But to be more precise, do you understand herbs and medicinal plants?
To be honest, not really.
So what am I supposed to do with you? Well, never mind. At least you'll learn something new. Go to the herb garden, take a good look at what's growing there, and then pull up the weeds in the herbaceous beds. Is that clear?
Poking around in the dirt isn't the job for me.
If you prefer to carve people up with a sword, you'll have to go elsewhere.
Some kind of disease has taken hold in Merhoyed. Johanka said that you might be able to advise.
A disease, you say? How intriguing.
Yes, it's very interesting, but can you help these people?
I can't say at this point. I need to find out a little more. Tell me, has the whole village come down with it?
I expect so, or why would they be so fearful about it?
Merhoyed? Isn't there a stud farm there? And what of the animals? Did they get infected too?
Yes, there's a stud farm. And they've all died off. The horses, the cattle, chickens, and now it's got to the people.
That is most intriguing. What are we to do about it? Do you know the symptoms?
No, I've no idea.
My good fellow, we won't get far without that. If I don't know the symptoms, I can hardly fathom what's wrong, can I? Let alone suggest a cure.
Right. So I'll go back and find out.
But hurry, time is of the essence. In the meantime, I'll make ready the ingredients all potions are based around.
Стой.
Do you know the symptoms?
Yes, more or less.
Excellent. I have several extensive volumes here in the library. Describe the epidemic, including the symptoms, and we could take some guidance there. Can you read?
Yes, I can.
Excellent. So follow me to the scriptorium.
So, where shall we start?
Evidently there's something amiss in the digestive tract.
In the what?
The digestive tract, Henry.
Right.
The trouble lies between the mouth and the arsehole.
Uh-huh. Sure. Just so.
We can rule nothing out at this stage. You look in the Breviarum de Sickness Causa. It's a renowned manuscript from Salerno, written by one Johann of St. Paul.
But I don't know Latin.
Fortunately for you, our brother librarian is translating these momentous medical works into the common tongue, so you can still be of use. Study the breviary carefully, and compare the symptoms with the recorded cases. That will guide us. I'll try the proven classics, Avicenna and his Canon Medicinae, and Galen's magnum opus, the Ars Medicinalis.
How about some potion to induce heavy sleep?
Certainly, the old reliable.
Reliable?
Some of the brothers like a good sleep, and sometimes that's the only way to get one. I'll show you how.
Thanks. Thank you. I think I have it.
Yes? And what do you make of it?
Охерительная книга. Breviarium de signis causi. Смотря книгу читаю. Тут очень много страниц у нее. Может, это хворь? Все же это походу хворь. Других симптом болезни я не вижу. Колики, лихорадка. Дизентерия. Передается от человека к человеку. Но животные не болеют. Не, это не лихорадка. Значит, хворь. Любопытный пример. Нарушение равновесия полостных жидкостей. Лакса святого вида. Проявляется она в том, что больные пускаются в дикий пляс. Скачут, вертятся вокруг своей оси. Нет, что-то не то. Бла-бла-бла. Могут танцевать. Все не то. Некоторые также могут сбрасывать одежду, и на этом все заканчивается. Так, давай с тобой поговорим.
Покажи какой-нибудь это геймплей днем.
Подожди ты.
Слышь? Ну, тут нужно посмотреть.
I think I have it.
Yes? And what do you make of it?
На природе, днем там.
Холера.
It's turned out to be the worst. The plague.
Really? That sounds rather unlikely. But if Master Johann of St. Paul's says so, who am I to contradict him? We shall have to prepare some medicine at once.
I could help with that.
Really?
Yes. I know my way around the alchemistic arts.
An ordinary fellow who knows the arts of physic? Who would have thought it? Excellent. I'll give you the recipe, and you have my permission to make use of the monastery laboratory.
I'll get started right away.
I, meanwhile, shall head straight to, where was it again?
Merhoyen.
Oh yes, Merhoyen. I'll take Johanka with me. She has no equal in caring for the sick. Once you have the medication ready, hurry after me.
Thank you, Brother Nicodemus. There's one man there who needs your care more urgently than anyone. He's an important witness in the investigation of some murders.
Out of the question. I shall spend time with the sick in order of their medical needs, not your worldly needs.
Блин, вот он.
Ну что, пошли днем?
Что днем? Еще раз.
А?
Что ты хотел сказать?
Ну просто днем куда-нибудь поскочи. Ну просто днем походи, поскочи там. Что ты там это? Нужно посмотреть.
Мор. Приготовьте лекарство, узнайте у брата.
What's happening?
I have the bandages.
Wonderful. Could you tell Brother Nicodemus?
I can do it myself.
I thought you were a blacksmith.
A long time ago. But unfortunately I've had to learn a thing or two about the art of medicine since then.
Well, fine then. What? What's happening?
How are you feeling?
Good. It feels clean. Hope it helps.
It will. Tell them to rebandage you daily. You have the bandages here.
Thank you very much, Henry.
Don't mention it.
Так, одному я помог. Одной проблемы меньше. Но их не убавилось. Могильчик беженцев не стареет. А, кстати, на стриме можешь услышать, какие у тебя бывают шумы. Ровно скакать. Ой, да охренеть просто. Так, я почти пришел. Где у вас тут попучитель? Урбан. Здесь его нет. А где он? Походу на первом этаже.
God be with you.
I'm helping at the infirmary now, and I came to...
Ah, and how is Johanka? Do you know her well?
Yes, I do.
Good, good. Does she ever talk about me?
I'm mainly here for supplies and to talk about the state of the wounded from Skalitz. They need blankets, food...
Well, that's not my problem. Let the infirmarius take care of it.
His hands are tied. Until the abbot comes back, he can't get anything.
And why should that interest me?
Maybe because of Johanka.
What precisely are you getting at?
Well, something could happen to her too, someday.
If any ill befalls my dear Johanka, she won't be left lying on some grubby floor. I'll personally see to it she's taken care of.
Because I'll pay you.
For supplies? But of course. That will be...
Oh, come off it. You get your supplies from the monastery for free. No one will bat an eyelid if you ask for more. Blankets can get chewed up by mice. Food can go off.
You're too clever for your own good, boy. Go try it on someone else.
Because I'll pay you.
For...
Oh, come on. Blanket. Are we agreed?
More. Yes. These things happen, certainly. And as long as the monastery needs my protection, they'll have to put up with it.
По основному квесту. Что там у меня? Это просепленника. Позаботьтесь о пленнике. Еще этого не хватало, там что-то горит. тоже болен.
Good health to you.
I see there's not much going on around here. So you've stayed here on your own?
Right so, all by myself. All the others were either killed by the humans or fled to Rattay.
I'm sorry to hear that. And what's keeping you here, alone?
My older brother ran away with the wandering players, so when our father was on his deathbed, he made me swear I'd never leave our home.
I can see you took your vow seriously.
I did. And it's starting to get dangerous around here. Again.
The humans.
If it were humans, I'd grab an axe and that would be that. But a week back, some rabble made their way through here. They begged me for food, and mark my words, they weren't taking no for an answer. If they'd been just a tad hungrier, I swear they would have stormed the cottage.
There are gangs like that around, true enough. I saw the mess they left behind. Savages.
It was horrible. People tried to find shelter in the church, but them dogs was waiting. They knew too well that's where folk would try to hide.
And where did you hide?
By the grace of God, I got my family away into the woods.
And I don't see your family with you. I hope those bastards didn't sniff them out.
No, it takes better man than them to track me down. I sent my wife to Rattay with some others.
Do you think folk will ever go back to their homes?
Oh, I don't know about Skalitz, but the folk here are sure to want to come back. The only thing they're missing is spiritual support.
Do you mean the priest?
Indeed. When the land's at war, noblemen fight to protect their property. The simple folk want someone to tend their souls.
Of course. But it was the Skalitz parish priest who ministered here, wasn't it?
He did. But there's been no sign of him since the attack. Or at least he's definitely not in Rattay among the refugees.
That's true enough. I didn't see him there.
But if you're interested, young fella, maybe you could help us find the priest we need here.
I can always ask. But I've really got no idea where to start.
I can help with that. A few years ago, there used to be another priest in Skalitz. Simon, I think his name was.
Simon? Father Simon, I remember him. That's the one who went missing, right?
Aye. I don't want to spread rumours, but they say he was in love with his housekeeper. And then she died somehow, poor thing.
Sodom and Gomorrah. Clerics today.
They're men, just like the rest of us, with man's passions. Well, to finish the story, Simon left the parish and ran away. You know that already. There was neither sight nor sound of him for a long time. Until this spring, he showed up here.
And what's he doing here?
That's just it. People say he's become a hermit.
All right. And where can I find him?
I couldn't tell you exactly, but you could start by talking to that girl's parents. Well, they live on a farm nearby, and it's likely they know more. They may even have had words with him.
I'll go and see what they have to say for themselves.
God go with you, lad, and I pray you find him. If some heathen stabs me in my sleep, I'd rather have a decent burial.
Don't worry. I'll bring someone.
Найди отца Симона, найди священника Симона. Да хрена. Проехали.
Hey, what are you up to?
Greetings, Henry.
Who's there?
I'm looking for the priest, Father Simon, and I heard you might know of him.
Simon? What do you want him for?
I'm looking for the priest who used to take care of St. James, and the locals tell me they saw him around here.
I don't know if I can help you there. He'll never go back to his parish, if you ask me. Very well.
Hey, who's
What
there?
is it you want to know?
What's that?
What went on between Simon and your daughter?
Nothing that hasn't happened before. Our Mary was his housemaid in Skalitz. She was pretty, very pretty. And he was young, and so things went the way they do between comely young folk.
What are you doing there?
She came back home one day, heavy with child.
Hey, what are you up to?
Yes, these things happen. What can you do?
I said as much. I was just glad our girl was provided for. Only she never had the chance to hold that babe in her arms.
What are you doing
She didn't live through the birth.
I'm very sorry.
Hey, who's there?
Such is a woman's lot in life. Men die in battle, and women in the arms of the midwife.
And what happened to Simon?
The poor man, he took it the worst. He was sure God's wrath smote Mary for her fornication.
That's rubbish.
What are you doing there?
People lie together out of wedlock all the time.
Who's there?
And God never smites them down.
That's just what I told him. But it's hardly my place to lecture a priest. And who knows? Maybe he was right. The Lord moves in mysterious ways. He was overflowing with grief. He barely spoke, didn't eat, refused to take a new housemaid.
Who's there?
And then, one fine day, the
What's going
presbytery
on
was
there?
deserted. It took a good season before another priest came along.
Where can I find him? He's said to be wandering around here somewhere.
I heard that too, and I'm inclined to believe it, even though I
Hey,
haven't
what are you
seen
up
him
to?
myself.
How come?
Who's there?
After our poor Mary went to her rest, we used some of the money he'd paid us to put a cross up by the roadside. And lately, there's been wreaths of comfrey turning up next to
Who's
it.
there?
I don't take them there, nor my
What are
husband
you doing
neither.
there?
You think Simon does?
Who knows? Maybe it's a miracle. I could believe anything. But there's not been fresh ones for a while, so perhaps he's moved on elsewhere again.
I see. Can you tell me where that cross is?
Certainly. There are settling tanks for the mines to the west of Skalitz. On the hill above them in the
What's
woods,
that?
there are several paths. Mary's cross is
Hey,
by one
who's
of them,
there?
close to the brook.
All right, thanks. I'll be going.
Very good then. And if you do find him, let him know that we have no hard feelings.
Hey,
tell
who's
him.
there? What are you doing there? Who's there?
Да заткнись уже. Иди сюда. Я вернулся обратно домой в столицу. Внизу или наверху? Походу это здесь.
This must be that cross. Mary's mother was right. Someone did lay flowers here recently. I should have a look around and see if there's comfrey growing anywhere nearby.
Ну, в принципе, он где-то тут. Нашел его. Лучше дальше не проявить. Забрел, блин.
Hey, you! What are you doing here?
I've come for the priest. Simon.
There's no one here called that.
There is. Do you take me for a fool?
All right. Maybe there is someone here. What of it? We're not going anywhere.
I think you should talk less and move your legs more.
Why is that? You think you've got what it takes to beat us?
I might. But it doesn't matter, because I saw you yesterday and then stopped by Talmberg to report. So, unless you'd rather wait for Sedivish's Captain Robard, you should go now.
Shit! All right, we'll go. How far are they?
Far enough still. If you run, I'm sure you'll get away.
Right. Thanks for the warning.
Так. Этого мы спасли. Так я же его уже спас. Так. Потом мы разделаем. Притопчик. Я тебя нашел. Ну, наконец. Проснись. И что с тобой делать? Еще похер. Что с тобой сделать? Вот на текст. Наверное. Короче. Последняя воля. Давай хоть завещание дадим. Ну, еще чуть-чуть подождем, может он проснется. Если ему вообще как-нибудь поможет. Поехали завещание отдавать. Архаеда. Воу. Все. Неужели ты проснулся?